This episode of the DisCast was recorded on October 8th, 2014 at discast.us/live. Tune in Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern to watch the show, or watch recorded episodes on YouTube and iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DisCastShow, tune to the trivia contest, and more. If you're feeling generous, please throw us a donation on our PayPal or our Patreon to get cool prizes. It would really help us a lot. Thank you, and enjoy the DisCast. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. To our new listeners, we welcome you aboard our podcast Highway in the Sky, and hope you've enjoyed the past week. For those of you standing, please hold on to your headphones at all times, and stand clear of the doors. For the comfort of others, no trolling please. Thank you, and enjoy the DisCast. Hey, what is up guys, it is Ryan, and welcome to the DisCast. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, 2014, and is shortly after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Darren could not make it this week, and so today I am joined by Spectra Radio. How are you doing today? You're muted.
There we go. I'm back.
Hi.
Everything's great. How are you?
I'm pretty good, you know, can't complain. We got a lot of great stuff coming up this tonight to talk about. Among which is Bob Iger getting his position extended by the Disney Board of Directors, and the fiasco going on over in Paris and Disneyland Paris's financial situation. All of that is to come. Before that, we also have some things going around the parks, possible expansion of Toy Story Mania, which we talked about months ago as a rumor that we wasn't sure was going to happen, and now it looks like it's going to happen, so there you go. Just goes to show how that changes. We got some Epcot entertainment changes, and more. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's a shame we don't have more people here to talk about their opinions on things, but you know, so be it. So
it's one thing this audience is never short on is opinions.
Yes, I know. One thing the Disney Parks community in general is never short on is opinions.
Very true.
If you go onto Twitter, anytime after something is made public, everyone's got something to say.
Yes. People are usually burning Iger in effigy somewhere around the world.
Yes, yes, and we'll be talking all about Mr. Iger in just a few minutes. But first off, of course, we would like to promote Spectra Radio.
Of course. Well, if you want to hear Disney music from the parks, the movies, and more anytime, you can tune into us at spectroradio.us. The address is there. We're on Live 365, 24 hours a day, because we are the happiest station on Earth.
Indeed, you are. Love Spectra Radio. We say it every single week, and we mean it every single week. Spectra Radio is fantastic. It's great to sit back, relax, and listen to some Disney Parks music. Especially if you're here, there's no reason why you shouldn't go and listen to some Spectra Radio. It's fantastic.
Exactly. Except for right now when you should be listening to
That's true.
DisCast.
Looking at you, Pro Miner.
This is the only dispensation I give. You can listen to this 1 hour a week. That's it. Then you're back.
Yes. And see, the problem is, Pro Miner, or Hitchhiking Ghost, he takes this as his 1 hour a week too, listen to Spectra Radio. Because he's like, Illuminations Hour. I'm like, no, DisCast. So, yes. And so, next up, we move on to our trivia. So last week it was the anniversary of the Walt Disney World Resort, and so we asked you guys a question about which ride that I listed was not open for the opening day. I'll read you guys those choices again. I asked you guys which of the following was not open on Walt Disney World's opening day: the Haunted Mansion, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Tom Sawyer Island, or Jungle Cruise. Spectre, which one's the answer?
I'm going with Mr. Toad.
No. Ooh. What's your second guess?
I don't even remember the first four you said.
It was
Haunted Mansion?
Nope. Down to two. Jungle Cruise or Tom Sawyer Island?
Tom Sawyer?
It is Tom Sawyer.
Okay.
Yep. Tom Sawyer opened, I think, the year after that, after it opened. There was a thing, I was going to put on the Liberty Square Riverboat. However, there was a lot of inaccuracies. I kept looking at different sources. Some of them said it opened on opening day, and then some said it opened the day after opening day. Some said October 1st, some said October 2nd, so I decided to leave that out there. But yeah. Tom Sawyer, which I knew opened
Make
the
it
year
an
after.
obvious one. Forget
Exactly.
about it.
And so anyway, our winner is a good friend of yours, Spectre, Disney Chris.
Disney Chris,
yes,
okay.
Yes. You can see him on the trivia card of winners over there in the corner. We're going to be going to the second side of this card soon, which is pretty exciting. So yes.
So was Tom Sawyer Island open in Disneyland? Was that before? Like, did that open after Disney
I think,
World?
You know what?
Was it just a delay? Like, why wouldn't they be able to get that together for the opening day in 71?
Tom Sawyer Island. Okay. Tom Sawyer Island. Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island. Disneyland, it opened in 56, yeah. But Magic Kingdom, it opened in 73.
Was Haunted Mansion a choice? Because I know that was not open on opening day, and people were like, what the hell?
Yeah. Now, the thing with Haunted Mansion is when Disneyland was open, it was just like a house just there, and people weren't sure what it was for.
Yeah.
And people were kind of like, what's that weird little mansion over there for? And then, of course, a few years later, they're like, Haunted Mansion, and it continues to be awesome to this day.
Correct.
Of course, Memento Mori's. Have you seen the Memento Mori stuff?
I've seen the info about it. I haven't been down in a couple months, so I haven't been in the store, but it looks pretty great.
It does, and they actually have some of the stuff you can buy there is now available online in the Disney Parks online store.
That's good. Do you do a lot of shopping do you buy Disney Parks merchandise online, or do you wait to get it in the park?
Really. Like, sometimes if I see something that I really want, I'll get it, but a lot of the times I will kind of wait until I see it at the park and get it then.
I feel like it has more meaning when I buy it there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Of course, there's some exceptions, like the shirt I'm wearing is the Monorail poster shirt. That was a limited time thing. It was only for like 5 days or something. I think it might have been an online exclusive, I'm not sure.
Well, sometimes you got to get it while the getting's good and you have no choice.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
But something like
there's
this...
a whole bunch of new Epcot, vintage Epcot stuff coming out.
Yeah, I noticed that, which is weird because they're closing a bunch of stuff in Epcot, getting rid of old things. And they're like, let's celebrate how Epcot once was.
You can wear it, but you can't enjoy it.
Exactly. It's a little weird, but you know. Yeah. Anyway, we do have another trivia question for you guys this week, as we always do. This week, we want you guys to tell us, once again, if you do know the answer, do not put it in the Twitch chat. Head on over to Twitter, tag us at DisCast Show using the hashtag DisCastTrivia with your answer. So, this week's question is, what caused Walt Disney World to close for the first time ever? It was an event. You tell me what it is. You don't need to tell me when it was. You just need to tell me what the event is called. And yeah, so there you go. Once again, that is tagging us at DisCast Show with the hashtag DisCastTrivia.
Ryan, how long does it take usually for you to get the right answer? Does it come in pretty quickly, or is this like something that you get 3 days later? Some days.
Actually, most of the submissions come within a minute of me saying it.
There you go.
Like 90% of them. Then sometimes you'll have people who watch the YouTube video later in the week, and then they'll put it on. But the majority of people do put it in during the live show. So
okay, so we're pretty sure there's not a lot of cheating going on. People get this.
Yeah, yes. Of course, Twitter, when you don't have a not really popular hashtag, such as DisCastTrivia, the search on it isn't always going to show everything. It's kind of weird how that works. I'm not quite sure how the tweet search thing works, but sometimes it won't give you everything, especially if it's not as popular hashtag.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, there's that.
Okay.
So, we move on to our news. First up, we have some MyMagic Plus stuff going on, as we often do, ever since it was first announced. Been a non-stop, changes and alterations and things going on. Now, apparently there was a problem with seeing the touch points in low light attractions.
Yeah, I was reading about this, and until I got to the end of the article, I didn't know what exactly they meant. And then, I even read the header of the article, and it's like, what are they talking about? But I guess when you use it, you have to use it at the beginning of the line and at the end of the line, and that's where these people weren't seeing it or something?
Right, yeah, like obviously, it's like the Fast Pass system was in the past. You scan it when you enter the queue, and then you scan it later into the loading area to make sure people aren't jumping lines or whatever. That's why they collected your Fast Passes at the loading dock and not at the entrance, to prevent people in the line from switching over. Now, I guess the second touch point, which is near the loading area, like, say you have a place like the Seas with Nemo and Friends. It's very dark in there. And I guess maybe you couldn't see the second point?
Well, you're obviously not very smart if you are fast-passing Nemo in the first place.
That is true. So I was thinking of an example of something that's dark. I was thinking of an example of something that's dark.
I get it.
Space Mountain. How about Space Mountain? That's a good one.
Okay, there we go.
Space Mountain is dark. If you're in Space Mountain, maybe you're fumbling around, you can't see where the touch point is. I'm sure there are cast members showing you, but nevertheless, Disney and the MyMagic Plus development team felt it necessary to add a standby light sequence so you can see it better. It's basically the white cycling around.
Got it. Hey, I think it's smart. I mean,
Yeah.
people just going in and breezing past this thing. FastPass Plus confounding people yet to this day. We have not gotten it right. So.
Yeah.
But the improvements are coming, and I like it.
I do. I am very happy that they are addressing issues that exist. People are very, very quick to bash FastPass Plus.
I'm a convert, I have to say.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in it at first, and I was out at Disneyland a month ago, and I was like, I kind of miss this whole paper thing.
Right.
I will tell you today, I'm going down in about a month, and I looked up, and I'm not able to fast pass the Mine Train. It's already sold out, so I'm kind of miffed about that.
So,
but otherwise, I feel like it's a great. I'm on board. Otherwise,
what you got to do with Mine Train is the morning of, first thing you wake up in the morning, see if they're doing FastPass for that day.
Okay.
You have to do it because obviously they
oh, you mean
they divvy it up.
Whatever the 80 days out or however
yeah,
many days,
yeah.
That's the day I have to. Oh,
I think you might have to do it like if you can't do it before, you have to do it the day of. Yeah. It's a stupid system right now. I'm personally very against the. I've said this whole many times, but I say it always comes up. I am personally very against the reserving FastPass Plus reservations in advance. I don't think it's a good system because then you divvy up the number of fast passes you have for the day with a number of ones that are given to people days in advance. So not only do you have less in the park, but then you tell people, yeah, you can get more than 3, but first you have to use your initial 3. I think that's also a problem.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's still flawed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say it again. I think they should have made it exactly the same as Legacy FastPass, just digital. This whole thing with reservations 90 days in advance and 60 days in advance and 30 days, it's not doing it for me. I honestly think that it would have been better if they just took the system that they had, which was working, and then just, you can have more selections available now with the new system, so you have you can give more tickets out, but you don't have to, subtract the number of ones you're giving for the day by giving them to people in advance.
Right.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I felt the way you did for a long time, and I'm kind of leaning that way now that I found the news about the Mine Train. But I guess it's okay that I don't know a month out that I'm not riding that roller coaster. I mean, that roller coaster. Yeah. Hopefully, there'll be some sort of slow standby or something I can figure out how to get on. But yeah, I don't know.
But of course,
TBD, I think, still on this FastPass thing.
Yeah.
The whole MyMagic Plus thing, I guess.
Right. And what's your latest FastPass reservation for that day?
I don't know. I didn't even look it up. My friend did. Like I was like, I can't. I got the news today. I got the email. It was like, hey, in case you're not doing your job at work, I'm not, and there's no fast passes left, so that's it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, the problem exists if you have a nighttime fast pass, then there's no way you're getting on Mine Train. If you even have, like, a late afternoon fast pass, they're probably all gone by that point.
Right, exactly.
That's my issue.
That's a problem.
I have yet to actually use the system, because last time I was there, I was using it when I wasn't supposed to, because they accidentally enabled it for all RFID cards, while only guests at, like, the Contemporary and certain resorts are supposed to use it. So I just took my card, went up to the kiosk and was using it, and someone's like, oh, where's your Magic Band? I'm like, oh, I left it at the hotel room. Like, oh, what hotel are you staying at? I'm like, the Contemporary. And he's like, oh, okay, go on.
Dixie Landings. I mean, Contemporary.
Yeah. He bought it. So actually, it's funny because my mom was next to me, and she's like, "Oh, the Grand Flirty," and I'm like, "No, the Contemporary." And she's like, "Oh, right, the Contemporary. I forgot. We said the Grand Flirty last time." He was like, and the GR was just looking at us funny and just kind of walked away.
Yeah, they probably heard everything at that point with this whole system. So
it was pretty funny. So yeah, speaking of FastPass Plus, Toy Story Mania is undergoing a test this week, in which only FastPass Plus tickets are tendered for the attraction. There is no standby queue this entire week. Now, you look skeptical. Let me explain. So, backlot closed. And then soon after, Soundstage 1 became an active construction zone. They filed permits, and then it became a construction zone. No cast members are allowed, and they're only construction crews. Now, a few months ago, at first, I thought when I heard that Fast Pass only was coming to Toy Story Mania, I thought it was going to be one of those tests they did with the no standby lines a few weeks ago with the Anna Elsa meet and greet, and I think they did it for Toy Story Mania too. I forget, but then I found out that Soundstage 1 was a construction zone, and then everything started to make sense. Because a few months ago, it was rumored that Soarin' and Toy Story Mania would be getting expansions to add another theater in the case of Soarin' and another ride track in the case of Toy Story Mania to increase capacity. And the idea was, maybe they'll make this one Fast Pass Plus only. That way they can increase the amount of Fast Pass Plus tickets and then diminish the standby queue. It's a win-win. So I think that this test was to test what capacity can we get of people in there with just Fast Pass Plus. How are the waits? Is this a viable option?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great. So do you really think, that's what's going to happen? Do you think a third track's coming?
Right now it seems that way.
Yeah.
Initially I was suspicious. Initially I'm like, are they really going to do that? Darren seemed to be like, oh, it's definitely going to happen. Because, I mean, look at the huge standby wait you got for Toy Story Mania. Look at the huge standby wait you got for Soarin'. There's only 2 theaters at Soarin'. There's 2 ride tracks at Toy Story Mania. If you had a third for each, you could make either 1 Fast Pass only and 2 standby, or 2 Fast Pass only and 1 standby, depending on which way the numbers work out. And that's probably what this test is doing, seeing how the numbers work out.
Yeah. The only thing on the planet that gets a longer wait time is the Anna and Elsa meet and greet. Yeah. So you've got to do something.
Get a second on an Elsa.
So they've addressed that with Killing Maelstrom. So now they've got to add these tracks, and I say, I'm going to celebrate it.
I think, yeah. I mean, if we get more Fast Pass Plus, if they can increase the amount of Fast Pass Pluses, that's a good thing.
I'll tell you this though. You talked about people on Twitter getting angry.
Oh.
Listen, there was a firestorm this week
about this.
About this.
Because what I saw some people who were pissed about this, and they seem to be misinformed. They seem to just think that Toy Story Mania was going to just randomly become Fast Pass Plus only. I don't think, some people don't give things a chance.
There's obviously a lot. They're not just doing it for for the fun of it, to watch us and laugh. I'm sure there's a plan here. But I can see if you are if you're not like one of us idiots who's there as often as possible, the annual pass holders who are there and live near it. Although neither of us live near it, but
yeah. We still go as often as we can.
If you are someone who, you go once every 1 or 2 years with your kids, and this is the one time you get to go, and you're looking forward to it, and you're like, oh, crap, I can't get on this thing. You only learn this week that it's no Fast Pass, and you haven't you might not be getting on this thing, and I guess that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's also ride refurbishments, too. This is a fact of life.
Yes, it's very true. They have unannounced refurbishments. People don't really get too much in a fit about that. It has to happen. You can't expect a ride to always be open at all times. I'm sure it's in the terms of service when you buy a ticket. Hey, all attractions may not be open at the time of your visit. I'm positive that is in the some kind of EULA of buying a Disney ticket.
There's got to be a big disclaimer out there.
Right.
Because just for Splash Mountain alone, though, how often that thing is shut down.
Yeah, well, it's every year to change the disgusting water.
This is a total sidebar, but I read an article once about people who collect the water from the attractions at Disney World in their water bottles because they love the smell of it. And
That's disgusting.
There's this whole thing like Disney water. I'm telling you, look it up. There's weirdos out there that are weirder than us.
I would run chemical tests on it and see what strange stuff is in there.
Oh yeah, I mean there's got to be something
how much
lethal.
Human urine and sweat and whatever else gets into that stuff.
Yeah, the chlorine can only do so much.
Ugh, it's not just chlorine. That smell does not come from chlorine. I have to tell you that.
Anyway, there's a little distraction for you, but look it up.
Yeah. I think
it exists out there.
I'm gonna go on eBay, see how much people sell Disney water for. I will not be purchasing any. Maybe I will. We'll see. Anyway,
don't count you out yet.
Of course. Anyway, we don't know for sure this is a Toy Story Mania expansion. This could be something new. This could be something incredibly different. This could be the first wing of the Pixar Place expansion and adding more things into Pixar Place. Remember, I initially said that I thought part of Soundstage 1 would become the new Pizza Planet when that half of the park gets changed to Star Wars. That was my initial idea. And I mean, it still could happen. Right now, it looks more and more like it's going to be a Toy Story Mania additional track. Maybe they can make the place that is right now the Adventures of Captain Jack Sparrow, make that Pizza Planet, or maybe make a new establishment be Pizza Planet over there, or they could just get rid of Pizza Planet altogether. Whatever.
The Pizza Planet is the linchpin of the entire park, clearly.
Well,
so that can't
listen,
go anywhere.
Here's my thing with Pizza Planet. It's not anywhere near Pixar Place. It is on the actual opposite side of the park. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
If they wanted to keep Pizza Planet around, it has to move. And also, I think that side of the park will be Star Wars.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I don't see Muppets staying because Muppets doesn't fit in Tatooine or whatever they decide to build there.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, if they get rid of that, what do you think?
I've also okay, so if they get rid of Muppets in Hollywood Studios, as long as they keep it at California Adventure.
Yes, I've heard you say this.
I have said this.
As long as it exists someplace on the planet,
just keep
you
it.
can sleep at night.
Or Darren brought up, release a DVD. Just have the show out there so people can enjoy it.
Okay.
I don't think they'll release a DVD. No, that won't happen. But yeah, there's a bunch of Jim Henson fans out there who are like, well, you gotta respect Jim Henson. This is the last project he ever worked on, or one of the last ones he ever worked on. Blah blah blah. Okay, I mean, Michael Jackson, Captain EO, that's gotta go too. People aren't gonna say keep it because Michael Jackson's dead, are they?
Right, Walt Disney's dead.
Walt Disney's
dead.
The
whole thing could go based on that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now, would Streets of America go too? If so, R.I.P. Osborne. Maddie, that is a very good thing, and we have been going back and forth about that one forever too. We think that people have been saying that this might be Osborne's last year because of possible Star Wars and other things going into that area. We have no idea. Of course, I mean, I don't know if they would have put the Frozen sing-along show in Streets of America if they planned on closing it soon. Because I think
Frozen sing-along show.
You didn't know
never
this?
ends with this thing. Okay.
This has been around since like June. I think if Disney, I don't think that Frozen sing-along's going anywhere. And if that's the case, they should move it to the American Idol Theater.
Yeah.
I mean, when American Idol was announced was closing, I thought immediately the sing-along would be moved there. Because right now, as Darren mentioned, it is so out of the way. Like, if he didn't know it was there, he probably wouldn't even have noticed it when he was there. Like, unless you're looking for it, you won't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in the middle of the streets of America, just chilling out. Like, why? I don't know. And we'll see what happens to Streets of America. It's a nice little themed area, but of course the fact that Streets of America is there is harking back to the whole studio idea of like a a fake on-location type thing that they would make in a film studio. Yeah. And if what I think is true and they are going away from the whole film studio idea, which it looks like they are right now, then Streets of America really doesn't have a place.
It's out of place at best of times, and if they're gonna go away from it, it's just you know what it is. It's just they've got to look at the parks from a dollars per square foot standpoint, and like what's going on over there. I mean, maybe it's shot up now that they've got those two Frozen people hanging out singing.
Those two Frozen. Those
two that I can't stand, that I used to like, but now I'm done with. But I think it's just there's nothing happening over there, so they've got to do something with it. And if it's not if it doesn't even advance the theme of what it is, the studios are, or quote unquote studios, it's over.
Yeah,
they gotta pull it.
Yeah. Maddie says that he heard rumors of Aladdin replacing either Beauty and the Beast or Idol. The Aladdin show that's at California Adventure. Now, I think you heard this from me. I think I'm the one who originally just like made that rumor up. Because I don't think that's an actual thing. I think I just said that one day. And I mean, I said I would like that if that happened. I like the Beauty and the Beast show. I was hoping I think I said it first when they said that Idol might be closing. When that rumor started, I said, hey, they should replace it with the Aladdin show at DCA. That's a fantastic show. I would love if that was at Hollywood Studios. But now people are saying they might replace Beauty and the Beast with it. That probably is more likely. That way they don't have two of the same kind of type of musical show there. But you know, it's a kind of a we'll see thing. I don't know. Right now, the Idol Theater is vacant. Will that be the start of the Star Wars area? Will that be a show? We don't know. We're not gonna know until it happens. All we know is this has got a nice high-tech theater just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maddie,
I don't know
if
what
you
will
said
happen.
it's just lights to certain people on Twitter, they would rip you apart. Just saying. You know who I'm talking about. You know the exact group that I'm talking about.
Oh,
They would destroy you. It's just lights. One of their...
After all, it's just lights.
Ooh. Let me just, like, forward that over to, like, I don't know, Andy Castro or something. He'll have a nightmare. But yeah, there you go. Toy Story Mania. We'll see what happens in terms of that. So, Maelstrom closed, as did Off Kilter, and instead we're getting back these Lumberjack guys.
Have you seen the video?
Yes, I
haven't been
have.
down. Okay.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
All right.
I watched parts of it as much as I could possibly stand.
I watched the whole thing all at once.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I just sat down the other day and it's like, well, this replaced my favorite entertainment at Epcot. Let's see how it is. It's bad. I don't...
It's so weird. It's so bad. I almost love it because it's so bad.
I hate it. I think it's awful.
Wait a minute. Wait, I have to go back. Off Kilter was your favorite entertainment at Epcot?
I loved Off Kilter.
Okay.
I thought Off Kilter was fantastic.
Yeah.
Why? Who's your favorite?
Of that ilk, of those performers,
Of like the World Showcase
Rock
people.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mariachi Cobra, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, whenever it plays on Spectro, people tune out in droves. They hate
Really?
Mariachi Cobra. I barely play it. No one likes it.
It's just you, I guess.
Too bad. You're getting it more. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think that this replaces it? This can't last forever. It's too bad.
Now, apparently these guys have been doing stuff with Disney for a long time, like doing private events, and they've been like had a relationship with the Walt Disney Company for a while now, and now this is their first time getting a permanent gig. I don't like it. It seemed very stupid. I don't even have words to describe it. It's just dumb. Like, they replaced a musical act with these people who just throw axes and like cut things.
I thought it was very amateurish and not. There was, you know what else I did? I noticed, and maybe to be fair, I did not watch the whole video, but I thought that there was absolutely no audience interaction. And for an act that's not performing the entire time, or is just throwing axes, I thought maybe there'd be some sort of audience participation. What was there any of that, or is it just you sit there and watch these guys?
It was like. Yeah, this side of the crowd cheer for the red team. This side of the crowd cheer for the blue team.
Yeah.
That was it.
And it's like, I don't care. What affiliation do I have, or affinity do I have for red versus blue?
Because that guy told you.
He told me to.
He told you. You are a diehard blue fan.
And we are sheep. We believe him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, something about Canadians, you know? I don't even think he's Canadian. Because they were originally called the Paul Bunyan Lumberjack people, or whatever.
Okay.
Because they just kind of did Florida shows all over the place. And now that they have this spot in now they're the Canadian Lumberjack show. They changed the name because Paul Bunyan's not Canadian, obviously. So
I will tell you though, I work for a company with a Canadian division, and about 6 months ago I was at a meeting and they were talking about an axe throwing contest that they had these people I work with had been at. So this
it's a real thing. Yeah, I know.
This happens in Canada.
It is an actual Canadian thing. They're actual like lumberjack competitions.
Yeah.
It's
and
one of those
things. I was in Toronto. I wasn't out in Saskatchewan or wherever the hell.
This is Eastern Canada.
They're doing this in the streets of Toronto, apparently.
Yeah, it's an actual like cultural thing. I mean, I'm sure it's I'm sure the authentic thing is cool.
Yeah.
But this just didn't seem as high of a quality. I mean, the dude said that, oh, these are the kinds of guys you see in like the ESPN shows and stuff, but it didn't seem like it, honestly.
Yeah, and who watches that?
I don't even know. I think just Canadians. Eh? I mean...
I mean, you know, I love Canada, but I don't know. I don't get it. I would rather... Does it have to be Canadian entertainment? There's 11 pavilions and only 4 of them have some sort of
musical but I think
act,
the stage already exists in Canada. I think that was the idea.
Oh.
The mill stage is already just there. Thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you can't just move something that's kind of in the ground. Yeah. I don't think why replace music with action? I don't know. I think if you get rid of
action is a very loose term for that.
Yeah.
I don't.
If you're gonna take away a musical act, put in another musical act.
So let me tell you, you obviously watch Twitter, you watch the social media. Have you seen any positive reaction out there? I mean, obviously we don't like it. No. Have you seen any?
Everything I've seen has been kind of meh. That's kind of been like what I've seen. I haven't seen too much about it though. People haven't really said too much about it. What people have been saying is, I think Diva Disney might have said this, and a few other people, people who weren't exactly big Off-Kilter fans, they're like, oh, so the Off-Kilter noise pollution has been replaced with chainsaw noise pollution. And that's about all they had to say about it. Yeah.
I mean,
could you maybe expand United Kingdom to take over that stage, get some good British entertainment? The United Kingdom has a stage. Right now, there's like a British Invasion group that plays there and plays British Invasion songs, which doesn't make any sense because they were in... but yeah, anyway, yes.
Yeah, it's called British Revolution, I think.
I think it's called British Revolution. British Invasion, British Revolution, something, one of those things. And they play, you know, late 20th century British Invasion band stuff, you know, Beatles, 80s bands, 70s bands, 60s bands. The bands were from Britain of that time. And they're not that bad. Like, I thought they were pretty good. They sound like the better end of the local entertainment you'd like hire for your Sweet 16 wedding. Or whatever. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, wedding. I've been to too many Sweet 16s lately. I'm fed up with those. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the only musical group that I've ever stopped and watched, and I haven't watched a full set, is I'll you know, if I see MyMagic Updates, I'll stop and listen to one or two songs, and I like that. I've never stopped to listen to Mo Rockin'. I've never really stopped to listen to Off-Kilter, but I don't mind that it's there. To me, it's more like area music, which Disney's full of. So, but this isn't even that. It doesn't. So I don't really feel like it's enhancing, you know, the experience of parading around that big hamster wheel.
I don't either. I think it's not a huge fan. Of course, this was a last week, or not last week, I think it was Sunday. They did a kind of like a soft opening. It has not yet appeared on Epcot's times guides and schedules and stuff. So there's still hope, I guess. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means. Oh yeah, the Japanese drummers are pretty cool. And
oh, I like them.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't stopped, but I've like kind of been walking by, seeing them, and it's really cool. Yes. But anyway, so I don't know if we can actually make complete judgments about this show until it is, you know, officially debuted. And Voices of Liberty is also really good. I like the Voices of Liberty as well. I have a thing for a cappella groups. I've said that before.
Yeah, and they stay, right? Like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, they're not going anywhere.
Okay.
No way. Hopefully. Now,
they're also at Disneyland, Ryan, though. So if they get rid of them at Epcot, you can know that they are still performing somewhere.
Right. I mean, you know, I think America actually lost the fife and drum corps, so I think they're getting a replacement act as well. And I'm pretty sure they're giving replacements to Morocco, another one for Britain because they had the World Showcase players. I think Britain's getting another act, and then America's getting another act. Canada's already gotten theirs. Oh, and apparently Italy, too.
Yeah, Italy had some...
No, Italy had those strange women on the accordions. What are they called?
I think that's their official title.
Yeah, the strange women with the accordions. I think they're called the Ziti. It was like some kind of pasta and then some kind of group.
Ziti or something.
Was it Ziti Sisters?
It was something like that.
It was something like that. Some kind of pasta.
Actually, was Ziti Sisters just part of Kitchen Cabaret?
I don't know.
Think that might be. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It was some kind of pasta. I know there was some kind of pasta in the name. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with that right now. Epcot's new creative director has certainly made changes. Whether they are long-term popular or not, we'll have to find out.
I will say I'm happy that they are making changes and that they're trying to, you know, update it and keep things fresh.
Yeah.
I just haven't liked one of the changes.
Yeah, no.
I like it in theory, but in practice, I haven't been on board with anything.
Yeah.
from stripes to maelstrom to chainsaws.
Yeah, I mean, give me some good World Showcase acts. Let's go. I mean, I'm missing Off Kilter already. Let's get. I'm on actual good, hopefully musical, or just some kind of good entertaining act that'll actually make me want to stop and eat my lunch in front of them instead of just walking by.
Right.
Like that's my kind of like, if you can get me to stop and watch an act in a theme park, then you're a good act. Because mostly I'll just walk by, say, oh yeah, that's cool, and just keep walking. But if something's really good, I'll stop and I'll actually watch it. So that's kind of like my evaluation system, if you will, for a theme park entertainment.
Yeah, and I think it's all on a curve too, because if you think about it, Epcot doesn't exactly have a ton of thrill rides, so you should be willing to stop. You should have a bit more openness to stopping in a place like Epcot, because
especially
you aren't running to some crazy Space Mountain or something like that. So
yeah, and then maybe
if you can't do it there, you can't do it anywhere.
Yeah, yep. So there you go. We'll see what happens with the rest of the World Showcase Entertainment in the coming weeks. So it's tough to be a bug. Recently had a very long and large refurbishment in which the overhead nets. I don't know if you remember. There was the incident where the branch fell.
Yeah, I remember something about that.
Yeah, the branch fell in the queue. The ride wasn't open at the time. No one was there. But Disney's like, oh crap. People could get branches falling on their heads. We should probably put a net above them. And so they did. And the net's not there anymore.
So they've secured all the branches?
I don't know what they've done to fix it, but the nets aren't there. So yeah.
Maybe they've updated that disclaimer you were talking about. You may get hit on the head with a branch
if you are stupid enough to go watch It's Tough to Be a Bug. It's a punishment for people who want to go see It's Tough to Be a Bug. You might get hit in the head.
There's a common theme here. Anything that's based on Pixar, you are stupid if you go and attend. This is Nemo. This is...
Not Toy Story. How about Toy Story? How about Buzz Lightyear? How about, I don't know.
All right, forget it.
Yeah.
My theory, you just blew my theory to fall apart.
If it's, yeah. Why is It Tough to Be a Bug even still around?
What the hell? What are they going to put in that thing?
I don't know. They could put some kind of, like, nature thing.
I think kids still like it, right? Like, maybe we're just not the target audience.
Do people like A Bug's Life? Like, is that, like, a liked movie?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it has that much. I think people would rather have, like, Anna and Elsa teaching about monkeys than watch It's a Bug's Life.
What percent of the time if you go to Animal Kingdom, do you ever go see that, or is it like something you do? Never.
Never. No, like I did it once. I don't ever plan on really doing it again. If they closed it today, I wouldn't care. I'd be bring on something new. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll dip in there, if it's like, okay, I've got to, if I have time to kill.
I guess. As Animal Kingdom,
Which you should not be looking for time to kill in a theme park. I think
that says something about Animal Kingdom. Right there.
Something fill this day.
For me, it's kind of just like, let's see how early we can get on Everest, get on Kilimanjaro, and then hightail it out of there.
Get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And 90% of the time I go to Animal Kingdom, it is pouring heavily. Either it's pouring by the time I get there, or an hour into me being there, it starts pouring. And there's parts of Animal Kingdom that don't flood very well, especially in the parking lot area. From the entrance to the bus stop, there's some areas that don't drain particularly well. So there's lots of water. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever been there during a rain.
Really?
Actually, no.
I've been there like every single time I go. It pours. There's some kind of thunderstorm that is literally right on top of us. I feel like we're gonna get struck by lightning. And yeah, a couple of times I haven't been able to. I had to like reschedule my Animal Kingdom day. Like I went there to go on Everest, and then boom, storm. Yeah, sorry guys, Everest is closed for like the next 5 hours. I'm like, oh well, I'm leaving. Bye. I'll come back tomorrow. And
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't care too much about Bug's Life, and It's Not to Be a Bug. Although, I guess they did something to the tree to not make the branches fall off.
All right, well, that's good. I mean, a safer Bug's Life is better for everyone.
Yeah. A safer oil rig is a better oil rig. Yes. So, now on to the cool business stuff. Time to talk smart about things. So, Bob Iger has been the chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company for 9 years now, I believe. And his contract has been extended twice because people have just been so happy with what he's been doing, especially the board of directors and the majority shareholders. So now they have given him another extension. He was originally supposed to step down as CEO on March 31st, 2015, and then step down as the chairman on June 30th of 2016. And we kind of thought Tom Staggs is probably getting the CEO position, let's be honest. Because Disney parks have just been doing so much lately, and he's been, on a roll. So now they've given him another extension, and he will serve as the CEO and chairman through June of 2018. So we got almost 4 more years of Bob Iger. And the reason being is, look at what he's done. He's acquired huge companies and really helped them towards the Disney brand. Pixar, Marvel, now Lucasfilm has yet to be proven, but it's assumed that the acquisition will go as smooth as the other two have. And to quote the independent lead director of the Disney board, Orrin C. Smith, Mr. Iger's vision and strategy for the company led to the successful acquisitions of Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, the resurgence of Disney's animation, the dramatic expansion of its parks and resorts around the world, positioning the company for continued long-term growth. Given Mr. Iger's outstanding record to date, it is obvious that shareholders in the company would be best served by his continued leadership, which is why the board of directors has asked him to extend his contract for 2 years to June 30th, 2018. I am pleased to report that Mr. Iger has accepted. Yes. Yeah. Whether or not you like the decisions Mr. Iger has made, he's made money. Disney's share prices have increased, I think, $20, something like that, under his rule. His rule, I don't know if I say rule, his command.
His reign of terror.
King Iger the First. I mean, I don't know. But he's definitely made the company money. He's definitely bought some things that have helped the company grow. He's increasing those profit margins, he's increasing those share prices, and that's what people like to see in a CEO. He was voted CEO of the Year this year. What are your thoughts on Bob?
Well, what you said is true from a financial standpoint. He has. I bought Disney stock in 2008, I think at $25 or $26, and it recently hit 90, so that's nearly quadrupling the value of the stock. That's great. So, and I think the market capitalization of the Disney company is up $100 billion from like $50 billion. So if you're an accountant and you're looking at a spreadsheet, then all of these things look good, and the board of directors and the shareholders would vote to continue that. The question is, go ahead.
Can you say what you're saying? What's the question?
My question is the way that he is getting to these numbers the right way? Does it represent a vision, and is it the long game? Is this what's going to further the company for what what it could be in the long-term future? They seem to think it does. This Asian strategy he has, they're talking a lot about. They're talking about a resurgence of animation. I don't know that I've seen that.
Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen were both in Tangled. All 3 of those, the more 3D animation Pixar style movies, but under Walt Disney Studios, those have all done really, really well. Especially Frozen, but Wreck-It Ralph and Tangled. Especially
Frozen.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 are really good movies. Frozen and Tangled brought back the Disney, pseudo musical type thing, and that's I think it's going to continue because it's obviously doing well. People like seeing this new stuff. He's done good things for the company. You have to remember, guys, Disney isn't catering to us super fans. They're catering to the people who fund them, the shareholders. When you're a corporation, that's what you do. Yes, Disney in the past has gone for gaining customer respect and trust and building this kind of good relationship with its consumers, but they're not obligated to do that. It's a good thing when a company does that. I admire that in a company when they do actually put an effort to, put the opinions of their consumers somewhere. But they don't have to. As long as they make money, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You're not gonna stop going to Disney because of the changes that they're making. You're gonna keep going.
Well, and the question is, they are responding to the desires and the needs of the consumers. It's just what % of the consumers do the people like us really represent?
True as
and
well.
I don't think that's big. I think, you've got so many people who are going to be ecstatic about Frozen coming to Epcot, and where we get drowned out by that, I think.
Right. You got to remember, we're like a couple hundred people on Twitter. Us couple hundred people are only like, I don't know, a few $1 million to Disney.
Yeah, what's Disney's annual volume? Is it like 50 billion, I think? Something around there.
Something around there. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, Maddie says last time he was at Walt Disney World, he ran into Eisner at the beach club with his granddaughter. Interesting conversation. What did that conversation entail? I'm interested. Tell me.
Yeah, I would be interested to know. Eisner tweets a lot when he's in the parks.
Oh, see, I used to follow Eisner. Then he started promoting BoJack Horseman so much that I unfollowed him. Because, yes, that was annoying me. So
Beach Club is his favorite resort.
He makes his opinions known. He's a very I don't want to say do I want to say personable? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it's something yeah, he knows what he likes. He says it out loud. People, either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you see is what you get.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Bob Iger is happy to continue. He's excited to see the Star Wars films come out under his I want to say reign again. Under his control. I don't know. What do you say? Under
his iron fist of
I don't know what, like, under his command. We'll say use the word command. He wants to see the launch of Star Wars films. He wants to see the launch of Shanghai Disneyland. And he's very honored to continue working with his talented management team and the 175,000 dedicated people who make the company what it is today. Is that how many employees they have? 175,000?
That's quite a number.
Yeah. I don't really know where that ranks on the scale of other companies, but
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think that there's any validity to Iger staying on because they don't feel that the succession plan that's behind him is ready to take over, and so he has to stay longer?
That is a very good. I haven't heard that one before, and I think that actually makes sense. I mean, we were talking before that Tom Staggs was probably the favorite to get the CEO role, but currently he's busy in a few things, like MyMagic Plus, which he's still, I don't know if you want to say recovering from. He's also working on with Joe Rohde and James Cameron on Avatar Land. He's got these, he has to, this Frozen thing now. He's obviously caught up in a lot of things right now. That being said, all of Disney's leadership has kind of been shuffled around lately. We saw, since Shanghai needed people, so a new person moved over to the Shanghai thing. Then Disneyland Paris is in desperate need of stupid people, so more people had to go over there. And then even within Walt Disney World, you saw some things starting to change. You saw even there was some financial people who were like laid off and changed in Disney's in like the corporate world as well. So I think it's possible with all these leadership shuffles and all these changes that maybe who they wanted to be the successor, or the group that could be successors, just couldn't do it right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there isn't a lot of confidence behind Staggs, although the article I read yesterday said that he is the front runner and next in line to become COO.
Oh, definitely. Oh, COO.
So,
okay.
Yeah, COO. So I think, and that's supposed to happen soon,
all right,
I guess. But according to this article,
yeah.
Who knows?
Of course, the problem, of course, is when you move someone like Tom Staggs, who's currently doing an excellent job at running the parks, to a different position. Yes, a higher position, but a different position. Is his successor going to do as good of a job as he did? Managing the parks.
Right.
We don't know. Obviously, there's only one Tom Staggs. Who knows if his replacement, if he does change positions, this obviously is not confirmed, but if he does change to COO or maybe CEO. The question is who takes over for her. Could it be Calogridis, who's currently the president of Walt Disney World? Don't know. I actually have no idea. I don't know too much about the executives and what they do and who they are and things. I just put a name to a job and then, yeah. So, we don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens in that regard. But, simply put, Iger's made money, and people like that.
Yeah, I think the thing that the trouble I have with Iger is that he doesn't inspire confidence. Like when I look at a CEO, like when you heard Eisner talk, you always, I felt like he was inspiring and had a vision, and he was very Disney. You know, I felt like he was very into the parks. And Iger came from ABC. Like he never, before the acquisition, he never had it in his mind that he was someday going to be head of Disney. He kind of like is only there because Disney ended up acquiring ABC, and then he was the head of ABC and he moved up. Right. So you always get to feel like he's just phoning it in, and like he doesn't really want to be there. Like when I see him opening Alani, I'm like, this guy just doesn't. He's not like it's excited. He doesn't. I don't see him exhibiting passion.
Oh, look who decided to show up.
Whoa.
Oh, let's add him to the call.
Does that mean I have to go?
No, you
or do
can
I
stay.
get my
You're staying.
last 10 minutes?
Let's go down in my Skype list to the D's, and let's choose Darren. I think I chose the right Darren. Let's add him to the call.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh, hold up. Let me pause the video. Oh my god. Oh, hey.
Oh, wow.
Oh my. School board meetings. They exist.
Yes, they do. Hold on. Let me get a second screen region up in here.
Spectro, how are you?
What's happening?
You know, we're just gonna cycle between Darren and Spectro because this is gonna be too confusing and too annoying for me to do at the last minute. But so we're gonna resize the Spectro Radio thing, put it next to Darren's name. That way it's Spectro Radio and Darren. I think Skype kind of tries to put the person who's talking the loudest in front. So there you go.
That's good. My mic is very low, so.
There you go. Okay, so that's what Bob Iger, he's making the monies. Now, in addition to making monies, Bob Iger is also spending some monies. The other week, or actually this week, over in Disneyland Paris, they had an emergency meeting to discuss, quite frankly, Disneyland Paris's lack of profit.
Good time.
Yeah, the last time Disneyland Paris made a profit, I believe, was 2011? Something like that. And it's been open since '92. It hasn't really done very well. So the Walt Disney Company, who owns 40% of Euro Disney, decided to give Euro Disney $1.25 billion in to kind of
Euro.
Yes.
Billion euro.
No, it was $1.25 billion. It was
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that equated to in euros.
A little bit more than that.
100-something million. I don't even know. Million euros. So here's the deal. Obviously, the Walt Disney Company is an American-based company.
Yeah.
I don't think they can have complete control over a French company. I don't know what French's business laws are and that kind of a thing. How they know with foreigners owning things. I don't know what it is. But Disney owns 40%. The second not majority shareholder, the second largest shareholder is a Saudi prince named something. Al-Walid is his name. Al-Walid bin Talal bin Abdul Aziz. So Prince Ali Ababa is the second largest shareholder of Euro Disney with 10%. And I guess Disney owns 40%. They this is their third time bailing out the French company, and because Disney has faith in Euro Disney, Disney has faith in Disneyland Paris. They think that it can do something. Whether it can or not, we don't know. The 25th anniversary is coming up, and simply put, as a former head of Disneyland Paris said, it seems like Disney just left Disneyland Paris running on autopilot. Things have become worn down, the technology isn't as good as in the US parks, and they haven't been aggressing marketing it to the point where it's basically as cheap to fly to Florida and go to Walt Disney World as it is to go to Disneyland Paris if you live in, like northern France or England or something. So they want to change that, obviously, and they want people to start coming here. They need to get like 15 million people a year, which they're just not doing. They're getting like...
What was it, like 11 or 12?
Yeah.
That's what the numbers were from earlier.
Yeah. And they need to get their numbers up somehow.
Yeah, so what do you guys think the money's going towards?
Well, they've said that they want to revamp the attractions, bring in new ride technology, new ride experiences. The look and feel will completely change. We hope to take the technology from the US parks and bring it here. We wanted to do that in the past, and we needed to do that, but we haven't had the financial flexibility to do so. So apparently this money will give them the financial flexibility to incorporate new technologies, incorporate existing technologies in the US parks, and just enhance the quality of everything. As for what specifically they will do, I don't know. Spectre, what are your thoughts?
Disneyland Paris has a ton of structural debt from the beginning of the park.
Oh, yes.
And when they opened the park, one of the revenue streams was not meant to be just tickets to the tickets into the park, but the property around the park was meant to be developed, and they would take in rent. That never happened. So one of the revenue streams. So if you go to Disneyland Paris, it's crazy. It's like in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah.
Like you drive up, and like you just see a castle, and you're in the middle of nowhere. So that was a critical part of their revenue stream. So they need to get that 15 million because they could have lived with 11 million based on the other profit, but they're not getting it because that was never developed.
How much would it cost to develop it?
I have no idea,
Less than 1.25 billion.
Well, obviously. I mean, I think that like obviously at this, even though they're getting less than 15 million people here, there still are, Maddie mentioned it, they still are the #1 tourist attraction in Europe. They still get more visitors than, like, everything in Paris combined.
So, I think the solution here is, right? So they have two options that they can go with this money, or they could do both, because 1.25 billion is a lot of money.
It's a lot of cash.
So they can go the Disneyland route of let's spend a lot of money in revamping the park and pull a DCA and completely overhaul the entirety of the property, or they can go the Walt Disney World side of things where they can focus on infrastructure. Both are two completely different directions, and
well, the thing with Walt Disney World is the reason why they're focusing on infrastructure is they already have the numbers they need.
Yeah,
this is just kind of like an enhancement. California, they were losing people to Florida, and so they need to have more features, and so that's what they did.
Yeah, the only reason I mentioned that is because you said one thing is that the technology is lacking, and technology is 100% infrastructure.
Not
and
100%, because technology can also be in the ride offerings. No?
Yeah, but that would be infrastructure, right? Like
sure.
The systems
if you're building
of
a ride, if you're building a new ride, it's a new feature.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you know what? Let's also like. They have a lot of space, like, build Celebration. Make a European equivalent to Celebration. Why not?
Right. I mean, I think, Spectro, you were saying that they were supposed to develop this land around the park and rent it out. Well, I mean, do you know anyone who wouldn't want to be right near the largest tourist destination in the continent?
Anybody who hates traffic?
Not personally.
Well, I mean, not from like a residential view. Say you're a business.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason why it wasn't developed. I can guess that in France there was probably some local regulation. If you can read this in Disney War, that's where I got this information from. So I don't know what the answer is. Basically they have made a profit several years in a row. They haven't, like you said, in the last couple of years. Right. What this basically does is, imagine if you are a person with a regular income and you have a huge credit card debt that you need to service. That's basically what this is. This gives them the cash to spend in the parks and service their long-term structural debt at the same time.
Now, the Walt Disney Company did actually give them like debt protection for the next 10 years. So through 2024, they don't really have to pay back their debts. They should, obviously, and Disney wants them to. And basically Disney's like, hey, listen, Prince Ali Ababwa over in Saudi Arabia and the other shareholders, if you don't want to participate in giving them money to do stuff, that's cool. Give us your shares. because Disney wants to become the majority shareholder. They want to take as much control as they can. That way, they are the most involved in this, you know, I guess rehabilitation effort to get it back up there where it should.
Now,
be.
is this the 1 billion plus? Is this a loan or is this just a gift?
I think part of it is like paying back for.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a loan. You can't just give away that much money and just be, yeah, you know, take it. Like, especially when you don't.
I'm saying, is it part of like an allocated budget, right? Like, if it was going to Walt Disney World, like that's not a loan. That's
right. Well, you have to keep in mind
that's a budget.
They don't like actually own Euro Disney.
Yeah.
Like, it's different if you're changing money within hands of your own company, but they're effectively giving this to another company because they're promoting the Disney brand, and Disney wants their brand to be worldwide. We're talking about Bob Iger. He's really pushing for this worldwide acceptance of his brand. That's why he's going to Shanghai. You have the more stuff coming to Tokyo. Now we have in Disneyland Paris this resurgence because they're trying to get all across the globe and actually make that Disney name iconic everywhere. And I think that's a big reason why Disney has kept their faith in Disneyland Paris. Now, if Bob Iger wasn't staying around until 2018, who knows? Maybe the next CEO would lose hope in Disneyland Paris. Maybe the attitude of the company towards their foreign places that aren't doing so well, Disneyland Paris, would go down a little bit. You know?
Now this may sound a bit ridiculous, but what's the possibility of using this money to you know, lower ticket prices for a few years,
now,
just to kind of build up that.
Right. It's a very tricky
audience.
thing. It's a very, very tricky thing. Because you could lower ticket prices and hope more people come, or you could higher ticket prices and hope the same amount of people come.
Look, it's no secret that Europe has a very unstable economy right now, and I think one of the best bets, you know, as we've seen the trend with economies going, and we discussed this about when the numbers for this year or last year first came out, about how bad of a situation France is in. I think one of the best things that they could do is just hope that they make everything up in merchandising, or they just, let's say, allocate $200 million and be like, look, if we drop the ticket price by $20 and we just do this,
right? I think
what's it gonna do?
What they really have to start doing is making it more affordable, more competitive compared to Walt Disney World for Europeans. When you go down to Walt Disney World, you see tons of Europeans there, right? I mean, yes, there's a lot of South Americans, but also Europeans as well.
Yeah.
And which at first I didn't understand, me being a little, you know, economics noob, not even thinking about anything. And before I was like a huge Disney fan, I'm like, there are a lot of Europeans here. Why don't they go to the park that's in Europe? Simply put, because the park in Europe isn't that fantastic, and it might actually cost less money for them to go down to Florida. And they have to make it so it's worth it to go to Paris. They have to give them reason to stay, not, I don't want to say domestic, but stay within the continent.
So you're saying third park?
I don't know. I'm not saying third park. Especially what you're saying?
There's a lot of dumb stuff that they do over there too, though. Like, I went last September, and you go in the afternoon, you go to like their World of Disney store at or their version of it, and it's closed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're only open until like 1 o'clock, and then they open again at 5 p.m. It's like, it's a Saturday. This should be why we were struggling to find a place to buy merchandise. So it's like, okay, and the food closes early inside the park, so like you can't get food without going outside of the park before it closes.
Is that just a European thing? I think that's like a European cultural kind of thing.
It may be, but it's
I
also
know the Spanish siestas. Is that kind of like a similar thing in France? I don't know if France is.
Yeah. No. It is. Yeah.
It is. Okay.
It may be, but they might have to figure that out because. It also seems to be a European thing not to do much business, and so if they've got to make the decision to go one way or the other.
Capitalism is American. Anyway, obviously something has to be done.
So that can also be part of the problem, right? That like the capitalistic model that Disney has, it just doesn't work in Europe, just because of the way everything is in Europe.
Well, yeah, I guess that actually makes sense.
Like,
if you think about where their other parks are successful. It's successful in America, where capitalism is huge. It's successful in Tokyo, where also Japan, at post-World War II, has been huge in the whole capitalism. They've been really trying to institute it. Hong Kong, which is a capitalistic heaven in Asia. And then obviously you have Shanghai, and China doesn't even know what they are economically. No one knows what China is. China's like, oh yeah, we're communists. No.
And to be fair, Hong Kong Disneyland was a complete disaster for the first 5 years.
Right.
So,
well, now it's starting to do well.
Yeah, and it's based on kind of what Darren alluded to before, which is like a massive investment.
Right. I also think it's also partly because Hong Kong in general has just been doing better.
Well, it's not entirely that. Like, there are many theme parks that have started out as complete failures. I mean, for example, Disneyland. It wasn't as Disneyland as it is right now. And, even going back with Universal Studios Orlando, they were a failure right from the get-go. And, they're dubbed the little theme park that could because they just came out of this massive debt, and here they are now, umpteen years later, chucking ahead.
Yeah, if you ask me, I think their entire look and feel change they're talking about, I think they're going to make Disneyland Paris more like the American parks. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to change it, make it more, more, American Disney Park-ish. That way they have to streamline everything, make everything the same. They have to somehow make this more competitive for people who are debating whether to go to Florida or Paris. And that's all I got on it. Any closing
personally,
remarks?
I would sacrifice getting something new in one of the U.S. parks to get something new in Paris, just because it needs something exclusive. Like, we're talking about Star Wars and the studios a lot, but if it was a debate between putting Star Wars in Hollywood Studios, which is a park that's making money, or Disneyland Paris, which is a park that desperately needs something to make money.
I think that is completely... I don't think that's a smart idea. Because if you think about where the audience for Star Wars is greatest, it's America.
I'm just using Star Wars as an example.
Yeah, I don't think Europe necessarily has to be worried about getting American tourists there, but I think they have to be worried about getting Europeans to go there. Not getting,
I think
Americans.
Look, I want to make a pilgrimage out to Tokyo just to.
Oh, so do I.
Just to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who will do that.
I know, but again, this is your super fan small percentage that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But
I missed that part.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Disneyland Paris, they have to get more regular Joes in Europe as opposed to American and other tourists. That's my closing thing to say on it. Our music just ended because we've been going on for so long. So, anything else to say?
I hate board meetings.
Okay. Spectro, thank you for coming down.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
It is always a fun show. We love having you down here. And yeah, thank you guys coming down and watching. Darren?
Thank you guys for watching. Check out Spectro Radio, and we shall see you guys next time.